So when I say the name Satoshi Kon, well, but to some people they're like, who is that? That's a Japanese person. If you ask anime fans, casual anime fans, are like, I've never heard of that name. But if you ask those who have watched some of his works, such as Tokyo Godfathers, then you'll know his very interesting psychological approach to movies. Perfect Blue, Paranoia Agent, Millennium Actress. That is a good, fun time that celebrates Japan's cinematic history. From acclaimed director Satoshi Kon and Japan's leading animation studio Madhouse, X Vampire Hunter D Ninja Scroll comes as a visually and emotionally stunning tale of adventure, love, and redemption. In Tokyo, three homeless people's lives are changed forever when they discover a baby girl in a garbage dump on Christmas Eve. And then, as the New Year fast approaches, three forgotten members of society band together to solve the mystery of the abandoned child and the fate of her parents. Along the way, encounters with seemingly unrelated events and people force them to confront their own haunted pasts as they learn to face their future together. A modern day fable with a big heart, Tokyo Godfather succeeds where many of its anime counterparts often fail, engaging the audience by evoking real human emotion. According to David Smith of Film Threat and Ken Eisner of the Daily Variety, Tokyo Godfathers takes anime to a whole new level. And you can't deny that one. Holy smoke, this one is very good. Given the more intense works of Paranoia Agent and Perfect Blue and to a point Paprika, this one is the most light-hearted of this tragicomedy, dramedy. Yeah, so what with the transgender person, the runaway teenager, and just a guy who lost it all, which is explained later in the movie. It feels like that it's about what the definition of family is and coincidences that all come together, you know. But of course, let's get it. This was on a budget of $2 million in 2003's money, and it works so dang good here. You feel immersed in the city, and of course there are reasons why. Whether if it's the introduction, where the city itself proclaims the character, like all the staff members that worked on it, the characters' names, and revealing the title itself. It's just so good. Whether if they are in a hospital, being inside a house, driving in a car, everything is just framed so perfectly. It captures the raw human emotion going on. Of course, the colors here are, they're winter. You got the whites, you have the oranges, you have everything for the Christmas lights, and it feels like a festive movie. It feels like that this is overall a positive message, and the city itself seems to exude certain fun traits, if you will. This isn't like it's orange, it's all these bright, warm colors meant to invoke not a feeling of where you're feeling single or anything, but it's like these characters themselves are just kind of forgotten about, but at the same time they view the city in their own way. I mean, that's pretty yeah, of course when they find the baby, a whole bunch of coincidences happen. For example, as Gin and this one drunken person are arguing, they take it outside. Then right as they do, 10 seconds later, a truck just comes crashing into the building, and it's just dang. And I also had a kid there. I also had the kid that they named Kyoko or something like that. So he right here reconnects back with his daughter, who happens to be a nurse. So There's the whole family drama that's going on inside that, which is a nice touch, I will say. And we don't get too much story about the transgender person. I mean, we do, but at the same time, not as much as the other two. So it's like, make of that what you will. Of course, the city itself also feels alive because they decided to have the lights in the building look like a face and things like that. And I can always appreciate when the city itself feels like a character. Take on Concrete, for example. And somehow, despite the fact that these three people are not related, they still somehow feel like a cohesive family. Because they're taking care of each other. They kind of live in the like a homeless camp or something like that. And it's just, I just like this movie. I mean, yes, granted, it does, like I said, it starts off a little bit small, but when they get to discover like the identity of the baby and finding like who abandoned the child and everything else, and it becomes like a great trying to get to the mom, who through incredible leaps of logic. I mean, I still like it. They're doing like a chase scene towards the end with a taxi, a bicycle, many right and left turns, and it's just so fantastic. And like when they're like atop a building and trying to save the mother, trying to save this woman and the child, it feels so perfect for this ending. So I'm like, yes. And of course also, like how they have the themes of coincidence and stuff like that, but at the same time, when certain miracles like this occur, it's like, hey, let's have less of the science and stuff like that, and take more into the less of the science, and let's have like these sheer coincidences that happen to actually be things that occur by miracle or whatever, and implement it in everyday life. And it was because Satoshi Kon was capturing images of the cityscapes of Tokyo, some faces and stuff like that, and ultimately integrated it into this movie. I think it's because of all the colors and the situations that this trio find themselves in. It works to this film's benefit, and it's just so good. This is a very loose remake of a John Wayne movie called Three Godfathers, and I was not expecting that, which must have been one of Khan's favorites. So it's like, oh yeah, this is some good stuff right here. And it's like all the characters have their arcs, we get their backstories. It's like in the span of 90 minutes, you feel for the characters, and this feels like a whole complete animated movie that is a dramedy, pretty much. And it's just, I don't know, man. It just works so great that even though it's that all the coincidences that happen, it just all feels so real, and you're just like, oh yeah, I want more of this. This is subtitled only. I don't think that there was an English dub of this, so this is one you have to watch. And it's like, well, for some people, it's unfortunately, if you get limited by that, I mean, you have the subtitles in English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Okay, you're missing out, man. I mean, yeah, it's like, this may turn some people off. The subtitles had some kind of, I guess, at the time, they were common slurs that would not fly nowadays. Of course, I'm not going to say what. So it's like, yeah, hopefully there was a more accurate translation, I guess. And maybe like some people may feel like how this is like a family. It's not really a family, but it's like, family doesn't have to be related by blood, was one of the themes going on for here. So say what you will about that. Again, compared to some other Satoshi Kon's works, I highly, it's not as psychological. But yeah, I do highly recommend you watch Tokyo Godfathers.